Welcome. Well, I think we might be about to do it. We have the Andamooka crystal. I probably should, right off the get-go, remove any confusion um, that I've seen a few people have. The seller, in this case the Blacklighters, listed this piece at $1,700. That's what was written on the package, $1,700. They had kind of hyped this up. Very rare, Andamooka crystal. Amazing. Should be $100 a carat, etc. And it came up and it looked like an awesome piece. As well as you can tell from looking at an auction, it looked like an awesome piece. I didn't think that it'd be worth $1,700, so I wouldn't have been interested in it at that price. But an offer was floated that was much lower than that, and long story short, I ended up buying it for $775, as it was written there, $775. So after I bought it, they said more than once, "Dude, you got to steal on that. It's easily worth, $1,500, $1,700." So I showed you guys this piece, and I kind of asked for your input, and I would say most of you are saying, "Send it back. That's not cutting $1,700." Now we don't have to cut a $1,700 stone on this. I didn't pay $1,700. This will be a little bit of a review on Blacklighters. It can't help but not be, because this is by far the most expensive piece I've ever bought, and it was bought from them. Mark is a salesman, and it's his job to sell his Opal, and he does a good job at it. He's entertaining. I think I think that he does what he needs to do to sell Opal. I don't think he's overtly dishonest. I just think that he is trying to sell his Opal. That's his job. No problem, no sweat there. So at $1,700, I don't think that this would have sold. But at $775, is it a value? Should I cut this stone? Can I get $775 or more out of this stone? Now, I think I've had it for about a week, and I've looked at it every day. I've looked at it with the light in it. I've looked at it through a loop. I've looked at it under magnification. I've looked at it under good light and bad light. We're going to kind of go over some of the things that I see in this stone. I'm 50% going to cut this stone because I'm too lazy to send it back, and 50% because I'm curious. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I think this is going to cut a beautiful stone. I don't think it's going to have much but green in it. I don't think that the reds that we'll see here in a minute are going to be too prevalent in it. I think that this is going to cut, here's my initial evaluation, stone with a carat value of $100 to $200 conservatively. That's what I'm hoping, meaning that if we cut an 8-carat stone out of this 34-carat piece, that's probably break even or a little bit better. And if we cut bigger than that, or the color ends up being way better than that, then we did even better. So I don't sell my stones. I don't want to buy something and feel like I've not gotten value out of it, but I don't buy them with the intention of retailing them back out. Perhaps sometime I might, and this one might be one that I would be interested in selling if I wanted to get some money back. Or if it's not something that I would set or wear, then this one might be one that might be for sale. We'll see. Let's see what it ends up doing. So I don't look at it in terms of, hey, can I flip this and make money per se, but is the potential there? If I spent $775 when I cut this, if it doesn't cut a $775 stone, was it my fault? Was it just the stone and the luck of Opal? Or was it the seller's fault for misrepresenting it? Any of those things are possible. If it cut something way better than that, did I misjudge it? Was it better than it looked? Did I do a great job cutting it? All of those things are in play here. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to look at this thing in depth, all the things that I've been thinking of while I'm looking at it, the potential pitfalls I see as I cut this, and what I think we're going to find as we get into it, and etc. So let's look at this thing in some light and see where we're at. Okay, so I just broke my felt selfie stick that I usually use right here to hold the camera while I do this stuff. So this will be a little bit more awkward than I was hoping. But let's zoom in here. We've got good light, but it's a dry stone. I can see we've got some surface sand in a few places here. I don't think that that's going to be an issue. I think that's going to go out. I think our biggest obstacle here is that this is not going to be a crystal, because a crystal, to be crystal, needs to be translucent. To be translucent, it needs to have a transparent or semi-transparent bottom, and we've got this crap on the bottom, and it's not thick enough in the clear part of it to get rid of that and have the thickness. At least I suspect that. I think by the time we get through this, our stone will be thin enough that I don't think we're going to have a crystal. And I think that probably was obvious, or fairly obvious. I could be wrong. I'm only giving you, I'm not trying to say anybody was trying to be misrepresent things deliberately or something like that. This, 10 people might look at this stone and have a different interpretation. Like I said, some of you said, heck yeah, cut that thing. It's going to cut a really nice stone. Some of you are like, send that piece of garbage back. I even reached out to both Tommy from us Opals and also Phil from the Opal Mills. I sent them videos of this even before I put the video out, and both of them recommended that I send it back. They did not think this would cut good enough to have value to it. They didn't think it was going to cut a crystal, and they weren't too critical on it. They were like, if it was me and I was looking at it, I would probably not cut that stone. And probably that would be the smart. If it was easy as just handing it back to somebody and saying yeah, no, but sending something back to Australia from the U.S., I have to go to the post office. I have to fill out customs papers. I have to pay $30 shipping, and I have to wait nearly 4 weeks for it to get there, for them to check it out, make sure it's in the same condition it was when it left, and then either get a refund or a credit toward other material and that stuff. It's a pain, and frankly, I think it will be fun to cut this stone, whatever it comes from it. I think there's enough obvious here that this stone's not going to cut nothing. This isn't one of those cases where I suspect that I might have no value. It's just, will the value be enough to have warranted buying? Because here's the reality. If I hadn't bought this one, you can see the stones that I've been cutting, that I've been spending $100 to $150 on each stone. Probably 2 out of 3 of those is cut in something worth significantly more than I paid for the stone. So I'm winning on those ones. If I sent this back and got 5 or 6 $100, $125, $150 stones for the same money, I'm probably going to end up with more dollar-wise than this one would sell for by itself. Probably. I don't know. That's what my guess is now. Now we're going to go through the process of finding out what this actually will cut, what's actually in it. And so let's look at this a little bit closer. Okay, so now let's introduce some water to our stone. See what it might look like polished. And you can see that it's beautiful color everywhere, but it's primarily greens. There is some red right up here in the very top. I don't think we're going to be able to center up that red in a stone. The 2 options for this stone to cut would be an oval here, going this direction right here. And again, I wish I had my selfie stick so I could actually point this out a little bit better. Or a large oval here. And so if we did one here, we could cut this off and get a stone here, and then our big stone here. I think that's where the best color is. I think that's where this needs to face, is right over that area here. Because I think that's going to face better than this right here. Our downsides, what's going to really cut into our size here, is on this side we have this jelly right here, and you can see if you look close, the color bar just sort of drops, plummets out of the way right there, and pinches down. I think that you could roll some of this, but I think that would have to come back to at least right there, and so we lose a significant amount of that edge right there, and it may have to go in as far as about right there. That reduces it. We get thin enough on this side that we have this crap right here with no color in it, that has to come in. It's not clear if this stuff right here would come out and still be useful, if it would be in the color, or if it would be down into this base material here. So probably what we will do, this isn't one that we have to go in from the sides too much to clean up, but I would like to get a base established here, something flat for our bottom. Obviously this is going to be a bottom. Start going in here a little bit, leaving plenty of thickness is my plan. Leave plenty of thickness, but start to get a flat base here to establish what is the biggest stone. And to me, the way this faces right here, this is our best stone right here. 5 carats from right there, that right there, if those reds pull into it, we get significant red through it, then that'll pay for the stone right there, I think. And then we also have another nice stone here, decent sized right there. That's probably the conservative thing to do. The more radical thing to do would be to try to just get as big as possible right here, clean up as much as possible. But I think that leaves out some of this best color here. We have sand and garbage right there. We're hoping that there's not. Now I've looked at this with the torch, You can see sand in it, but because it's the crystal part of it is translucent enough that you can see some inclusions in it, but you can't really tell what level they're at, and you're hoping they don't end up in the face to kill you. You can't get much light to come up through the bottom in this because of this material here. But that's my guesses, that's my projections. You guys tell me if you want to pause it right now and make a comment that you would do something different, or that you see this. Tell me what per carat do you think that stone right there is going to cut. $25 a carat, $50 a carat, $100 a carat, $500 a carat, $1,000 a carat. Make a prediction of how we're going to end up so that you guys have something at risk too, and not just me. And let's head out to the Opal cave and start sweating because of the tension. Got a little bit better light and the camera held up so I can go again. So I don't think that sand right there is going to be a problem. I don't think it will be. I don't know how much of this right here will come out and be, if it's anything useful. But I think that our best color would be in a stone about there. Look how nice. If it had this red streak right there through the whole color bar, I think it would be a no-brainer. I think it being predominantly greens and blues is it affects it, and just having that more desirable color on a piece of it actually hurts it more than it helps it, in my opinion. See, there's an inclusion there, there's an inclusion there. Those would have to come out. That leaves us this right here with a nice stone. I mean, that could possibly be 4 or 5 carats right there. So I might go in a little bit here and here and just start cleaning up the edge just a little bit. Obviously we're not going to hurry and this right here is the point of no return. I haven't touched this or altered it in any way, but as soon as I do this, now I can't. Now it's my stone. I just bought it. Take this ring off so I don't accidentally scratch it. If it had that color right there, I'd have my money back. Okay, we're just gonna go slow, so stay with me, be patient maybe. His eyes are cold and restless. His wounds have almost healed. No color in here. A little bit right there. She'd give half of Texas just to change the way he feels. Well, she knows his love's in Tulsa. She knows he's gonna go. Well, it ain't no woman of flesh and blood. It's that damned old rodeo. It's the Bronx and blood, it's the dust and mud, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd, it's the white and the knuckle, the gold in the buckle, he'll win the next go round. Well, it's boots and chaps, it's cowboy hats, spurs and let it go. Boy, everything here that doesn't look like color is definitely not color. It's not hiding, it's not a skin, it's just junk potch. Junky junk. It's the ropes and the rain and the joy and the pain. They call the thing rodeo. She does her best to hold him when his love comes to call. No color at all. We're not losing anything by coming in here. But his need for it controls him and his back's against the wall. And it's so long till I see you when it's time for him to go. You know the woman wants her cowboy like he wants his rodeo. It's the Bronx and blood, it's the dust and mud, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd. There's some dark potch. Did not expect to see that show up in there. If the whole bottom was backed by that, if the color touched on that black and it went dark, that would be better, I think, than if it went crystal. I don't see that going too much further. It either needs to be under all of it or none of it, hopefully. Otherwise we end up with inconsistent color. So far I'm not touching anything that I think has any color in it. I haven't made a decision definitively on where and how we're going to cut it, and how many pieces, if any, because what we're cutting off here has no color in it, so there's nothing we can do with it. We could look into the bottom a little bit here. This sandy crap that's on the bottom here. Oh, I hope that doesn't go too deep. Don't like that sand one bit. Yeah, there's no chance I think that this is going to be crystal. I mean, it's gemmy, but to be crystal it needs to be translucent. You need to be able to see, you should be able to see through it in some respect, or it's just not crystal. So I don't think this ever had a chance of being crystal. That doesn't mean it won't be a beautiful stone, but it was sold as crystal, and I think my initial evaluation of it actually wasn't crystal and wasn't going to be crystal is correct. You can make of that what you will. I don't like that as the bottom, but I don't want to go too far. And I don't know how much further it goes. It looks like we might be about through that. She does her best to hold him when his love comes to call, but his need for it controls him and his back's against the wall. And it's so long till I see you when it's time for him to go. You know the woman wants her cowboy like he wants his rodeo. And it's the Bronx and blood, it's the dust and mud, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd. It's the white and the knuckle, gold in the buckle, he'll win the next go round. It's boots and chaps, it's cowboy hats, spurs and let it go. See the way that just kind of pitfalls, black holes into the color bar plummets right there in a circular, where I think there's nothing but jelly about here, or maybe a little bit of color right at the very, very bottom of it, maybe. It's just grinding up $100 bills. That's all it is. If that doesn't bother you, you're ready for Opal. I see some color in there. There might be more hope here than I thought to be able to get something, especially as a stone there. But we're about to get to the point where we need to make a decision and slice this, because I don't think I'm not going to carve it, I'm not going to freeform it. That's off the table. That sand right there might end up being right about where I cut it, so I don't want to start trying to go through it, because I might be able to roll that and not have to go down from the top on the rest of it. So I'm going to wait. I'm waiting on that. This right here that I was hoping would turn into something useful that could at least be rolled down to form the bevel is not yet showing me any color. weird because it's just the fracture right there, but maybe it fractured there for a reason. I mean, obviously it fractured there for a reason, but see, we still don't have any color here anywhere. The starting edge to our stone. And we're shrinking down. We're probably down to about 18 carats. 15 to 18 carats. See, there's a sand spot right there. Sand all over right in there. This is where we're more, and we still just can't get enough light to come through that. In this area here, we can't get light to come through that to even help us see if there's going to be any sand in there. That looks to be surface. But right in there, we're so dark that we're just hoping it's not a big sand spot. We're hoping it's just that this is dark enough and thick enough it's not allowing light through. So I think we're ready to make a decision on where we're going to cut it. Let me think about it and I'll bring you right back. Here is what I am thinking. There I think we have a beautiful big stone that is a, what is that, a 22 millimeter oval. Pretty good chunk. Could be 7 or 8 carats, I would say. 7 or 8 carats, $100 a carat, pays for the stone. And then we got this piece here that actually might be even better color right here. It might be that a stone here and a stone here, where you can get a stone that has that reds in it, is the play. But I think we're going to cut this off as close as we can there to maximize this second stone right here, meaning like right here and then right up there, to maximize this one here, and we'll see what this one kind of, as it starts cleaning up, what we can get out of that one. Okay, we did it. And what do we see here? We see that that crappy potch goes pretty deep right here, but there's no sand in that right there. This color right here is actually, it must drop pretty quick because it's full, sorry, it's full color here and then drops into that pit right there. So again, I think the play might be to get one stone out of this color bar there and then another one, or maybe just start taking that back. I don't know what we'll get out of here, but that right there is the best color I think on the stone. If we can get one nice stone out of that, that might be, you know, is that $200 a carat? More? Less? Tell me what you think. That color right there, if it comes clean. And then we got this one. This should be our payday stone. We're just right there for the first time saw color right here on this side. I'm hoping that that crappy, yucky stuff right there comes out, but yeah, see, there's no color right there. There's not really. Well, that's beautiful right there. Look at all those reds right there in that. Sad. I mean, the reds are here, but I don't really think that they're in here. All of this color hurts to come off, but this is color that could be saved on this side. This on this side is kind of a messy, yucky stuff. It really needs to go away. No color right in the tip of our oval. Just barely. I mean, it's already rolled right there, so we don't need much. All right, there's our main stone. There's our nice color. There's crappy garbage. The problem is, what this is typically if you got a color bar that thick, you're golden, but below that you'd have clean potch. This stone never had a chance to be in crystal. You see the thickness here of the actual crystal material. A little thicker on this side, but there's just, that right there is the bottom of the crystal. So by the time you cut that clean, you're looking at about 2.5 mils, maybe 3 mils right there. It was never going to be a crystal to me. This needs to come down a little bit here. Yeah, that hasn't got much of a base to it of anything that's good. Again, I think that's pretty promising that that will come out, because I don't see it in there, but who knows. Let's take a breather on that one and see what we got here. I'm curious if that right there, we're into color right there. Just jelly. Does that sand right there roll out? Yeah, kind of. So what do we got here? Shark's tooth. That's the best color. But that's just all garbage, garbage, garbage. There's nothing there. No color, just absolute garbage. So I'm thinking, what can we do here? No. Maybe there. That's a 13. It'd be nice to get a 13, one of the most common oval sizes, but I'm not seeing it. We can get the 10 or the 12 right there. I'm thinking that's what we do. I thought it was recording. There we are. Here's our second piece. We're gonna make this into as big an opal as we can. Best color on the whole stone is in that top half right there. I'd really like to save that tip as much as possible, but wasn't quite careful enough with my cut, but we can save some of it. It'd be nice if we could end up with a 13 right here. I think we're gonna dop that up. It's too nice to take a chance on. If you change your mind, I'll be first in line. Baby, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. Just right on the edge of the color bar there and crapola underneath it. Very best gonna be around. Does that give us a 13 by any chance? Man, we're so close. So close to hitting the 13 there. We're gonna try. Let me dop these up. Okay, there's our smaller, potentially nicer stone. No hurry. It's all money. It's all money being ground off right here. Got sent home from school one day with a shiner on my eye. Fighting was against the rules and it didn't matter why. When Dad got home I told that story just like I'd rehearsed. Stood there on those trembling knees, waited for the worst. But he said, let me tell you a secret about a father's love. A secret that my daddy said was just between us. He said daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without end, amen. Well, I became a father in the spring of '81. There was no doubt that stubborn boy was just like my father's son. When I thought my patience had been tested to the end, took my daddy's secret, passed it on to him. I said, let me tell you a secret about a father's love. A secret that my daddy said was just between us. He said, daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without end, amen. Love without end, amen. Well, last night I dreamed I died and stood outside those pearly gates. Suddenly I realized there must be some mistake. If they know half the things I've done, they'll never let me in. Then somewhere from the other side, I heard these words again. Let me tell you a secret about a father's love. The secret that my daddy said was just between us. He said daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without end, amen. love without end. Amen. So funny story. Navy's not in this video, but you guys have seen Navy, my granddaughter. Some of you flatter me and color my daughter, but my granddaughter, she and I went to lunch today. We had a lunch date yesterday, but it got canceled. So we had a lunch date today. And then we stopped at the store to get her a little bit of a present, treat, a toy. And she picked out a little coloring book. So we went to Jimmy John's. That's where she likes to go. Because she can order, she can pay for the order, she can pick up the order, she can get her own drink. She's got it all figured out there. So we had lunch and we went, stopped at the store, and she picked out a coloring book, and the coloring book had a pen in it with the brush, and you put water in the pen, the water wets the brush, and then the brush paints on the coloring book. Well, when I put her in her car seat, she wanted me to open the coloring book, but I didn't have any water bottles left in my truck. So I couldn't put water in her thing, and I said, well, maybe let's drive straight to your house, we'll put some water in it, you can color, because I got to get back to work. So we start driving, it's only 5 minutes to her house. And I look back and she says, Papa, look, and she shows me a picture she's colored. And I thought, well, that's weird. I wonder how she colored that picture. So she continues coloring back there, and I get her to her house, and I open the door to let her out. And she's got this super guilty look on her face. She knows she might possibly be in trouble. And it dawns on me, what she had done to get that coloring book to work was taken her root beer that she'd got at Jimmy John's and poured root beer while I was driving into the little hole on that pen to color. And I said, Navy, you're about the smartest little girl I know. What a great idea. All right, we're ready to start rolling a dome. I don't know if we ended up with 13 there, but we're close. 12.5, 13. If we don't lose too much, it would fit in a 13. Aanhin ko ang buhay kung di ka kapiling. Mabuti pang pumanaw kung di ka sa akin. Ano man ang mangyari, hindi kita iiwan. Ipaglalaban ko ang pag-ibig mo. Ipaglalaban ko hanggang sa dulo ng mundo ang ating pag-ibig, giliw ko. I'm trying to be very careful to go down no further than I have to because I don't want to accidentally bump into an inclusion. I have a little bit of cloud right there on the very top that I'm aware of, and I'm hoping that's going to come out on the next stone. That is beautiful. Fairly high dome. Looks like we might have a little bit of a flat spot. I might need to do a little bit more work. Yeah, see the flat spot right there? All right, we have to go down a little bit more. Alright, I think the rest of it will come out. Okay, we can breathe a little sigh of relief on that one, but the big one here, we're still under the gun. You can't really refine your shape till you start going in on the dome, to me. Your imperfections always kind of reveal themselves and the two kind of work toward each other, your dome and your shape, until they're perfected. I hope that's not warped. It kind of looks like it's kind of warped a little bit. See what I'm saying? We gotta hope we have enough color bar there. We definitely do on this side. We might take some of that off. This one might have to be a little flatter. Ipaglalaban ko ang pag-ibig mo. Ipaglalaban ko hanggang sa dulo ng mundo. Ang ating pag-ibig, giliw ko. We still don't have that out. Our color bar is definitely wonky. The lowest spot is the dead center of the stone. Blah. These are challenges. Curious to see if there's any guesses on that song. We're still wonky. Better on this side than on this side. Low spot right there, right where we need to go down for that sand to come out. In the worst possible place, we're low. I don't know. Let me dry this off and show you what's coming up. We have an occlusion right there, sand right here, sand right there. Those three issues. Being in the center, that's the second worst spot. Being in the lowest spot of our saddle and our stone, that's in the worst possible spot because we need to go down further to get that out, and that's the last place we want to go down further because that's going to make us have to lose color bar the rest of the way around. What do we do? And I should have maybe made this decision earlier, but we could do this. For the stone, have a higher dome. Get some light around here. This sand is just about to come out. This inclusion is close. See the scratches on the face there. Got a little pit right there, a little pit right here. This inclusion right here is the one that worries me the most. But I think we're just about to lose that sand. I shrunk it just a little bit, not even a millimeter I think, just to give me what I need to try and get this face flat, at least to flat with a little bit of roll. It just had a saddle in the middle of it. too much zoomed up. It had a saddle in the middle of it, like this, in the middle of the stone, and it's taking too much of the color down to get rid of it. Let's refine our shape one more time. I think it's a battle we can win. Alright, we need that oval to be pretty close to perfect. Not quite. Still not quite. I might need to move the camera out of the way so I can look directly at it. Closer. Okay, we can roll a little bit and then check it one more time. Still see just a little bit of that inclusion left. Look at the red from this angle. Whew. She's a beaut, Clark. You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like a mountain in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Come let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Look at that stupid little inclusion right there. That's all I'm waiting for to go away. Alright, let's move over. Maybe really get some zoom on it. Yeah, see the little bit of cut on the top right there, right at the peak. It's not much, but it's too much. It's almost out. There's one little piece left. That's it. I think that's ready for a polish. I think that's a victory. What is that stone worth per carat? It's going to be over 2 carats, I believe. Maybe 2.5. It's not directional. From the sides, it hits beautiful reds, blues. From the tops, it's mostly greens, blues, yellows. And it's my favorite storm. It's a storm. It's my favorite. I know that's not an official pattern. It's what I call it, because that's what it looks like to me. If you've ever sat out at night in a thunderstorm when the clouds are black and the lightning jumps from cloud to cloud, that's how I see it. I showed this ring that I was wearing to somebody at work, and she said, "I'll bet you like the Aurora Borealis because that ring looks like it." To be honest, I'd rather wear it on my finger than see it in the sky. Okay, so we have a little bit of cloud right there. We have a little bit of an inclusion right there. I don't think that cloud's going to come out. I think that's already our low spot. I think it is what it is. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but still got that inclusion. Come on, inclusion, come out. Did it come out? I don't see it. Another one ready for polish. So this one, again, there's nothing directional about this other than the colors. Reds are more prominent from the side. See there, especially on that face. Look at that. Moss, floral, flagstone, even a little chaff in there. Woo, man, gosh. Okay, time to polish. Okay, here we go. You ready? You ready? I don't know why I did the big one first. Okay. It has more that's not green than I anticipated. It's a lot of green, but it's got a lot that's not green. Especially hitting off, man, look at the pinks and reds there. Green, pink, red, pink, red, pink, red. Wish the whole thing was like that, but there's our big one. What do I do with the other one? Wipe, I've still got polishing compound all over them, so. Look at that. Is it possible that that stone right there pays for the stone? I'm gonna guess it at about 2 carats, a little over. I'm gonna guess this one right here is between 4 and 5. After I get it off the chopstick and clean the bottom up. My heart's beating again. I can breathe easy. I didn't destroy the $1,700 crystal Andamooka. Okay, so it's not crystal. We'll go inside, we'll weigh them, and we'll talk about the conclusions on this. But right there, you can see we didn't lose. We won. We won. It didn't cut a 15 karat crystal Andamooka worth $5,000. It didn't do that. I didn't think it would. But what we got was a fun cut, 2 beautiful stones, the experience, and I got to share it with you guys. Thank you for coming. Let's go weigh them. I'll clean them up. Okay, here we go. Here are our 2 stones. I don't know why I started with the big one. Here they are in lamplight. Colors easy. 8.4. Color's not directional, primarily green, but there's reds in there, there's blues in there, there's other colors. Tell me what you think that one weighs. I was hoping to get 4 or 5 carats out of it. Did we get our $100 a carat color out of that? I think so. So, 8.4. If for $100 a carat, I didn't lose money on the stone. You guys tell me, am I out of the ballpark there? Then I think almost the nicer stone, for its size anyway, is this little beauty with more of the reds, all of the good stuff, the same wall-to-wall color, not directional, shows color from any direction. I think we're 2.5 carats on that one. Oh, look at that. Come on, scale. Okay. 2.86, nearly 3. Nearly hit 3. So if that one was $100 a carat, we paid for the parcel we got to cut for free. And whatever that one right there is worth is a little bit of profit if we were selling the stones. I think it's safe to say that we got. I don't think, this is just me, but I don't think that cuts $1,700 worth. Where it may be subjective, and some of you may know better than me because I don't buy and sell finished stones. But I don't think that's $1,700 worth. So I think my estimation of what it would cut was pretty darn close. It's on the upside of what I expected. It didn't blow me away. It didn't disappoint me. It was fun to cut. So here's what I think. Take Mark with a grain of salt. If he says something's worth, he'll pull out stones and say this is a $5,000 stone. That's what he's hoping to get for it. It's not completely crazy. Try to get it for half of that. Try to offer him half of it. And then you're probably right about where he probably knows it should be. That's just me. Like I said, it's a fun auction. They seem to be great people. I'm not trying to knock them out. I'm just trying to give my honest opinion of the things that I've bought from them, cut for it from them, and this stone specifically. It was worth it. It was a fun cut. It was what I expected to be. It was not necessarily what they. It's not a Andamooka crystal that cut into thousands of dollars. That's what they said it was going to cut. But they're selling Opal. So you guys can take that for what you will. That's my honest opinion. Overall, it was a good experience. Thanks for coming along with me. What a fun one to cut. I don't think I'll probably ever cut anything that costs that much again. I just probably won't spend that much money on a single stone. It's too much fun to spend 100 to 150 and really get some fun cutters too. And I think some of those have been right in the ballpark with these. The one that's in my ring, I think, is at least worth what those ones are. But that's just me, and it's my preferences. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.